Hello, you guys. Welcome back to Channel Claire. I hope that you're doing well wherever you are in this crazy, crazy world. Now, I'm hoping this is the last video on the topic with Miss Brooke Schofield. However, I just feel the need to kind of round this all out and close it off and be done with it. She has now released a second apology. I did release a video earlier today. I took it down. It was speaking about how Brooke had liked a IG post that her friend had put up, and he was photographed with Trump, and she liked it yesterday amidst all the controversy of her and her vile tweets. Okay, it just was a very insane thing for her to do, given everything that's going on and the issues she's facing now. However, she has put out a second apology. This is Brooke here. It's about 7-ish minutes long. In this apology, she does specifically say the words, "I'm apologizing to Black people and other people of color." It is a better apology than the last one. She touches on why she presented her apology the way she did prior. However, for the past 2 days, there have been many creators on TikTok giving her word for word exactly what she should say in apology to the communities she has offended. While it's good that she made an apology, it still feels slightly insincere because you can definitely hear that she used those creators' TikToks as inspiration for this second apology. Granted, she's damned if she does, she's damned if she doesn't. She's in a fucked situation because regardless, yes, you make an apology, that's what you're supposed to do. But people are either going to forgive you or they're not. Now, a lot of people in her comments are forgiving her. They do happen, from the profile pictures, it looks like they do happen to be white people. I'm also seeing from like her IG and her TikTok, she really isn't losing followers, supporters, anything like that. I don't think this is going to be a cancellation of Brooke Schofield. Okay, I think that a lot of people are showing her grace and giving her a chance to proceed with her career. A specific group of people are giving that grace, and that's a large part of her audience. So she's going to do fine. Brooke's not going to lose a whole bunch of sponsors. She's not going to, she may have to sit tight for a moment and be hush hush for a little bit, but she's going to be fine. This apology, yes, she apologizes directly to the Black community and other people of color, but to me, just the intensity and how violent and just how unnecessary her tweets were, I'll forever have a bad taste in my mouth about Brooke Schofield. I don't believe that her viewpoints have changed since she was 23 when she graduated college, which she did touch on and say that it wasn't that she realized that her past behavior was unacceptable after college, it's that she realized or was exposed to how many hate crimes happen in the Black community because of George Floyd and Black Lives Matter, the movement that was happening at the time back in like 2020. And at that point is when she realized the unfairness that the Black community has to deal with on a day-to-day basis just for the color of their skin. She also apologizes for her first apology, where it seems as if she was making excuses for her racist comments on Twitter saying, her grandma has dementia, Rush Limbaugh was blared through her house. That's how she was raised. Like, at the end of the day, nobody really gives a F about that, because at the end of the day, we were all raised, right? We all were taught things, but I can't remember in one stage of my upbringing, did my parents raise me to dislike another race or another community or dislike people at all. I was raised to show love and understanding. Like, I just don't even understand that mind frame. Like, it boggles my effing mind of all the things to teach a child when you're raising them, that parents are going to choose to teach them to be divisive and to be ignorant and to hate another race or to hate people at all. That is just so fucked to me. I don't understand it at all. So that is what she was taught, and she did not do the work until after college to learn what's actually happening in this world, because she was content to be in her little bubble where she could spew racist comments and nobody said anything to her about it, because that's what they were all doing. And I do see a lot of people accepting her apology. But again, from what I've seen, it's all white people. The black people that I've seen, speaking about this, who, again, I had no clue Brooke Schofield had such a big, well, it seems like, but she's had a lot of black, she has quite a big black audience as well. I know I watched her. I'm a black girl. And I've seen a lot of other black girls be upset about this situation and feel a type of way because they were also fans of Brooke Schofield. And to hear her speak about us in such a negative manner is hurtful. I don't think, since the apology is directed towards my community, I don't think I can forgive this. Just, I understand that people can grow and evolve and learn new things. That's wonderful. But just given how she's moved for so long, I just don't think that at this point she really gets it. Because she knew that these comments were out here and these tweets were out here, decided to leave them up, and only said something when it became as big as it is now. She could have nipped that shit in the bud from way back then and not did a little, Reddit post, or no, sit down and say, I made these tweets. I was racist in the past. There's no excuse for it. I'm calling my own self out on my own bullshit, and or delete the shit so it's no longer out here in the world. She didn't do any of that until now, until she's being called out on it. So it makes people believe like you're only sorry that you got caught. You're not sorry that you did it, which I can completely understand that perspective. And I also understand the perspective of people wanting to forgive her and feeling as if she's made her apology, so let's just move on with this whole thing. I do definitely think we should move on with this. There's a lot of other shit happening in this world, way more important than Brooke Schofield. But it really does, I guess, open our eyes as Black people that people, we see it all the time, but it's just like, it's so sad that people really think this way about us. Like, they truly at their heart don't like us. And that's what I can't get over. I'm like, and I saw one creator who was like going through her IG or whatever for like years down her timeline, not one Black person, not one Black person in any of those photographs. And then they were talking about Tana, how, Amari is Black, I guess, but she's openly called him the N-word with the hard R on video. So that's a whole other situation. So you don't surround yourself. You don't have friends who could have let you know, hey, this isn't a good look. Who are you around that would let you know, that would help you evolve and to learn new things, if you're only surrounding yourself with your own race? Like, and they're obviously not teaching you the right way to go about things, because they taught you to be racist as hell. And to be so bold and confident in it, to put it on a public platform and on the internet that lives forever. It's a lot. I do think healing takes time. Maybe with time, she can be forgiven. I don't know how I'll feel 3 to 6 months from now. I am an empathetic person. I feel that I'm a very understanding person, but I'm also a sensitive person. And I can admit that seeing those tweets hurt my feelings because I was watching her shit. And it only to turn out that you view my community in that way is hurtful. And I think it's okay to admit that. We like to act all unbothered about shit and stuff all the time. No, it's hurtful to know that a group of people who don't even fucking know you dislike you and have no problem putting it online and being hateful about it. It's hurtful, and it's okay to say that. So while I appreciate her apologies, her 2 apologies, and her coming back and trying to, redo it, she had a great script to come up, to base it off of. She did say that she has donated to Trayvon Martin. Wonderful. She didn't, provide a receipt or anything of proof, but she said that she did, which I would hope you would not lie about something like that. Maybe take a course, do the work, like show the actions that you're actually doing the work to unlearn this shit, because you just realizing and open your eyes to what's been happening in the world and what so many people have to deal with on a daily basis. That's a luxury that you just got to open your eyes at the age of 23 after college. That is a luxury because we don't get to do that. We have to be on our P's and Q's. We need to make sure we're acting right. We can't put stuff online talking any type of way because we're not going to get the grace that Brooke is being shown. Even if we are young, we don't get that same grace. Look at Trayvon. He had to die over it. It's such a tight situation. I don't think anything would really suffice in the situation that she's in. She's damned if she does. She's just damned if she doesn't. You're in a fucked situation regardless. At this point, this should be the last video. We don't need you making a third one. Sit tight for some months, like 3 to 6 months. Maybe come back and tell people what you've learned and the work that you've done behind the scenes. Come back. I don't know. I don't know what the girl should do, but this is it's just not right. It's just not right. So I'll let you guys listen to her apology. See what it is that you think. If you've been watching the videos and other people's commentary on this, it's going to sound very familiar to what you've been hearing them say. It's like she compiled all those videos together and just summarized what the fuck everybody else was saying. But hey, what else was she going to say in this situation, right? Girl, you really, really effed yourself on this one. Or your grandpa did, or your grandma with dementia. I don't know, but I'm going to need some time personally because my feelings were hurt. And I'm okay with saying that. So I'll let you guys listen to the video and you can make your own.
Hey, you guys, I want to talk about my last video, okay? Because I am listening to everybody, and obviously I am reflecting and looking back on it, and I do agree with everyone that I missed the mark. I obviously saw everything that was going on, and I saw how hurt everybody was by it, so I felt like I just had to put something out as soon as I physically could so that nobody thought I was ignoring the situation or didn't realize how important it was. But as a result of that, I put out this very emotional, scrambled video where I essentially made none of the points that I should have been making. First and obviously most important thing is that I'm so sorry, specifically to Black people and the other people of color who were offended by my tweets, okay? Because obviously I'm seeing a lot of positivity in the comments and people saying that they forgive me, and it's all white people. And that's how I know I did not address this properly at all. So I want to be clear that this is directed specifically to Black people and other people of color, and I'm not seeking white people's understanding or forgiveness, or approval, or whatever it is. Now, sorry is not enough, in my opinion, for
Praise
the way
God.
that I was tweeting
Hallelujah.
and the things that I was saying online at that time. And I know that there's no apology beyond like reparations that can mend that wound. I don't care if I was a teenager, I was old enough to know better. And not only did I choose to say those things, I chose to say those things on a public platform. And I am very, very ashamed of it. Especially sorry to those who were affected in real time, because keep in mind, I had friends and family who were following me at that time and would have been hurt by those tweets. And I feel sick over that. The tweets were racist. Okay, there's no getting around that. They cannot be dismissed as jokes or political opinions or anything else. It was racism. In my last video, I put all this emphasis on my family thinking it was going to like provide context, but instead it just made it look like I was pointing fingers and like
And let me just pause for a moment, because I get where she's saying about, it's not just politics or whatever. And with her liking the Trump IG post of her friend, people were like, how are you going to be liking the exact thing that you just said you're completely against? And I want to make it clear, in my opinion, I don't feel like all Republicans are racist. In my opinion, from what I have seen and the behavior they have displayed, the MAGA cult, in my opinion, are racist. And if you're connected to that, wearing the paraphernalia, walking around, liking tweets, being photographed with the man, I'm going to think you align with those racist ideologies, in my opinion. You don't have to think the same thing. You can be completely fine with the MAGA people and think they're the greatest people on earth. In my opinion, they're not.
What's up, guys? I'm Mac.
Lord.
you guys, I want to talk about my last video, okay? Because I am listening to it's going to like provide context, but instead it just made it look like I was pointing fingers and like placing blame. And that was exactly the opposite of what I should have been doing. The fact of the matter is, nobody forced me to tweet those things. I tweeted those things on my own, and the blame is on me. A conscious choice to not learn about politics until I was a young adult. But that did not stop me from tweeting political opinions. I wanted to appear that I knew more than I did and that I was educated, and instead I was spreading harmful, very, very harmful misinformation. I had all the educational resources available to me to learn what was right, and I chose not to. However, the murder of Trayvon Martin has nothing to do with politics, okay? The murder of Trayvon Martin was a hate crime, was horrible, and he did not deserve it, and no Black person deserves it. When it happened, I repeated disgusting misinformation on a public platform, and I'm genuinely so disturbed by that. I truly cannot believe it. It makes me sick, like truly sick to think about it now. Now, I mentioned in my last video how I didn't really like open my eyes until after college, but I want to make it clear that when I say that, I'm referring to hate crimes in particular. It wasn't until after college that I realized how prevalent police brutality is and how common hate crimes are. It's constantly happening. I think a lot of people felt this way, but the murder of George Floyd shifted my mindset completely, okay? Because that's when I started to really research and learn what it was like and what it looked like to be anti-racist. I started to seek out my own resources and learn what reparations looked like and learn what I could do as a white person in situations like these. And I'm really, truly ashamed that it took me that long.
What you could have done, Brooke, was definitely take down those tweets. Like, you were doing the work, you were getting resources, you were doing all that, yet those fucked up tweets still remained.
I talked in my last video about how I grew up in a Republican household. And I didn't say that because I think all Republicans are racist, but I just wanted you to know that those are the only conversations that I had been exposed to. But then I went off to college, okay? And I went to college in Arizona, which is still a red state, But Arizona is also a state with a lot of diversity. And I was a public health major where so many elements have to do with race and racial inequality. I learned so much during that time, you guys. It was actually really eye-opening for me because I had had a lot of thoughts my entire life that completely shifted once I started to learn like things from other people's perspectives. So much of what I previously had believed to be true changed, and I started paying attention to things that I hadn't before. Again, I acknowledge that I was an adult at this time, and I had all the resources in the world available to me to educate myself prior to college, and I chose not to. And for that, I am sorry. Really, really wish that I had. I wrote my college thesis on racial disparities. So, how things like socioeconomic standing, health, housing, income, and so many other things can be affected by your race. I didn't stop learning there, and I don't plan to stop learning about these issues ever. I truly mean that, and I know a lot of you aren't going to believe me.
By the way, she makes this comment. I saw another creator on TikTok say that she makes this comment about how she wrote her paper in college on, racial, social inequalities or whatever the hell she just said. Basically, she should know about racial inequalities that we deal with in society if you're writing a full paper on it. However, there are tweets of her saying that in school, once she decided to have more liberal takes on her papers, she started to get better grades. So did you just decide to have more liberal takes, in your word, to get better grades, and you realized, okay, me coming off as a racist or super conservative isn't going to work? So let me switch up my message, my perspective a little more. And then you got greater reaction from that. And then at that point you were like, oh, okay, maybe this is the way to go. Like, I don't know. I really don't know about this girl. Like, how do we know what's genuine anymore? Like,
and I understand that, but I do care about these issues. But I don't want this conversation to be over, honestly. I'm not posting this video to make everything go away. I don't want to try to get myself uncanceled, but I know there are a lot of people like me who are still working to unlearn the inherent racism that we possess still. While I know that I've changed, I also know that there is a lot of work to be done, okay?
that must
There is
be
a lot
such a sad way to grow up, to be taught to just dislike people off of what basis? Like, I really, like, when I think about it, like, obviously I don't have the experience of being raised white, but I'm sitting here thinking, like, are y'all really, do your parents really teach y'all to be racist of other races as you grow up because of the things that you learn or you see or this, that, and other? That's how they're acting? I mean, even with everything that the Black community has dealt with through civil rights and everything like that, my mother wasn't raised in that way to dislike white people. My grandparents didn't, teach their 4 children to hate white people. Like, I just don't think that's taught in our community, to grow up not liking a group, or like, it just fucks my mind up. Like, I just cannot wrap my head around it. You're supposed to teach your children about love and acceptance, and that there's an amazing world out there with many different people, but at the end of the day, we all bleed the same. We're all the same on the inside, although we look different on the outside. I don't get it.
that I could still do that I have not done yet. I promise you that I will. I have been and will continue to look into reparation initiatives to share with you guys, as well as figure out ways that we can give Black creators more visibility, because we know that's a major problem in this space. I want to do everything that I can to show you that I am not the person that I was in 2012, 2013, 2014, 2015. I am not. I understand that there are people who are never going to forgive me, and I do not fault you for that at all. At all. But I truly am so sorry. I am sorry for the words that I said. I am sorry for my racist past. I am sorry for the people that I hurt. And I want to do everything I can to earn back your trust because it really is very important to me. But you guys, I want to talk about my last video, okay? Okay, before this gets any further, I have publicly stated my support for Kamala since she's been in the running, okay? And I still stand behind that. I know how stupid it looks that I liked that post today, and I literally want to kick myself in the fucking face for it, but it was like mindless. I literally was on an airplane.
I don't understand how the fuck, with everything going on around you, how you could be that mindless. Like, that to me feels like you really don't give a fuck. You know what people are saying about you. You know the feeling against you that people are calling you a flat out racist, and you're going to like the picture of the man leading MAGA people who are very extreme in their ideology and thoughts. You're going to like that and then say it was because you were on a flight and were being mindless. What is not connecting? She's not getting it. I don't understand how that could slip your mind. Like, oh, I probably shouldn't tweet that. That's what well, like that IG post. That's what makes me feel like this shit isn't genuine, and her real feelings are what she's displayed. She's just having to cover it because she knows it's not acceptable in society anymore to have those thoughts and feelings.
Scrolling, I saw the last person in the entire world that I would think would be in the room with Trump. So I was like, this is crazy. And I liked the post. Worst timing ever. So fucking stupid.
Dumb as
not a Trump supporter. Okay? Period. I am not a Trump supporter. Okay, before this gets any further, I have publicly...
Then you should probably tell your friend Tana to take that goddamn cap off if she tries to, in the next podcast. Why are you wearing a fucking camo Trump goddamn hat? Okay? And please show the receipts of you donating to Trayvon Martin's fund. Show the receipts and then go away for a little bit. Actually learn. Actually do the work. Provide receipts of all the things you said that you're going to help do, like having Black creators have more visibility on these platforms, because we know for a fact they fuck with the algorithms and shit. Okay, Black creators' content are not boosted as much as white people, and they don't earn as much on their videos as white people. They could be doing the same fucking thing. It doesn't matter. It doesn't get pushed. So show that you've done the work, show how you've been involved in fixing that and rectifying it. At that point, maybe the forgiveness can come. Maybe. But until then, I'm just disappointed in the whole situation. And obviously, I think you should be disappointed in yourself, which you say that you are, but who really knows? Because again, how do we know what's genuine out of this girl? Especially after liking that IG of Trump and saying, "Oh, it was mindless." How can you be mindless during people calling you fucking racist? Oh my god. Ugh. Anyway, like I said at the beginning, I hope this is my last video on all of this. I hope that Brooke actually does the work, comes back, shows receipts of her doing said work. Because this is just not good. It's just not good, and we'll see what happens. I am interested to see what happens with the canceled podcast. Now that I may touch on, because I don't know how they're going to handle that. So you may hear me talk about this a little bit more on that angle. But until then, I'm leaving it here. Those are my feelings, and I will see you guys in another video.